Hey there guys, Devlon of TBI here, coming at you with a deck profile slash deck update of one of the recent decks I made. So let's get straight into it. So the world you'll be seeing today is Magic World, and deck, of course, is Shadow Shade. It's my only Magic World deck. So yeah, this is the Buddy Silhouette Spirit. Of course, he's gonna be the Buddy. This deck is also posted 4 dimensions, as you can't tell already. So yeah. Starting off with the size zeros, we got one copy of Countdown, of course, because he ends up in drop. He can come back as a body on board, which is pretty nice. So he can just support with he can just start swinging him with the grade 3. I mean, not grade 3, size 3. That's on board. So yeah, pretty solid card. 4/1/1 for stats, can swing over things, or just poking for 1 damage. Really versatile card. Next, we got 3 copies of Silhouette Leon, size 0212, who has the ability if there are 2 more souls in the cards in my field, he gets critical +1. Still a really good card in my opinion. Good for that extra damage output push. Not to be underestimated in any way in my opinion as well. So yeah, pretty solid card. Now we have the Buddy, Silhouette Spirit. So let's get to what he does since I'm on him. 2/1 for stats. He has the ability Mutation Shadowly. When he enters the field, I put a spell for my drop zone to the soul of a monster on my field, and I can only use the named ability once per turn, so once and only once that turn. So if I call another one, I can't use it, which is why you're just going to be calling one at a time, so one each turn. So yeah, so this card is really, really nice for Shadow Shades. It helps build up the soul for all the size 3s you play, helping them defend against attacks because that's Soul Guard, or using their abilities in them more that's like Damien or Impact Joe. So yeah, really, really amazing. My only size 2 in the deck, Silhouette Simbar, 333, Rebellion to Shadowline, just discard them, grab any Shadow Shade monster from your drop to your hand. Only 2, only because I wanted to make space to play a different card in the deck that actually works well. So when I get to it, I'll get to it. Getting into the size 3s, we got 3 copies of Damien, 735 for stats. Call cost is pay 2 gauge and put a spell from my drop into a soul. He has the ability put a card from his soul to the drop zone and pay 1 gauge if I do destroy a card. Then if I have 15 or more cards, I get to put the top card of my deck into his soul, so it refills up his soul, so he didn't really have to pay any soul. He just had to pay 1 gauge. That's it. Of course, he has Soul Guard, and yeah, he's a pretty amazing card. He helps get rid of problematic weapons. He helps get rid of a lot of things that are problematic. Next up, 4 copies of Terry. Terry is amazing for that damage output. Double attack, Soul Guard for the keywords. He has the same call cost as Damien, so no need to go over that. And he has 1 ability, which is if there are 3 or more cards in his soul, he gets critical +1. So he could potentially be an 8/3/5 with double attack, which is amazing. So swinging for 3, really good damage output, which is why I like seeing him more for that damage output. So yeah. So yeah, pretty solid. 4 Terrys. Next, you got 4 copies of Impact Joe, 835 for stats. Call cost is kind of the same as Terry and Damien, but he has an extra thing which he has to be put on top of a Shadow Shade monster. So yes, that's pretty much the only difference. He has the counter ability of Discard a Soul to pop any monster on my opponent's field, and he has Soul Guard. So this is literally the heart and soul. This is like the heart and soul of the deck right here, because he has really good counter removal. He's like probably one of the best counter removal cards in the game. Just Discard a Soul, pop any monster. So really amazing. Alright, so now we have 2 copies of Little Light. This is the card I was talking about, why I play 2 Simbars. I wanted to test this card out, and this card's been testing amazing lately. So what this card does is put up to 1 monster from my deck into the gauge or drop zone, and then I gain 1 life. Mostly I search out the Dawn, put them into the gauge, so gauge excel, I gain 1 life, and now now Low Lights and drops with the spell, and I get to call Terry or Damien and then put it into the soul. Also also paying Dawn in the gauge to end up in drop. So really good. And on top of that, I have an extra bonus of gaining a life. So that's pretty amazing. 2 copies of Chillax, pay gauge. Next time damage should be dealt to me. This turn it is reduced to 0, gain 1 life. Yeah. Shadow Crusader is also an option. I just prefer Chillax. Kind of personal at this point for Chillax and Shadow Crusader. So yeah. 3 copies of Never Say Never. Good gauge excel card, good draw power. Basically, I have to have when I cast it, it has to be the only card in my hand to get the draw. But other than that, it's mostly used in here for the gauge excel. So yeah. Pretty solid card, really nice. 3 Magical Goodbye. Bouncing back any of my opponent's size 2 or less monsters, or bouncing back any of my size 0s if they try to kill him. So let's say I can bounce back a Spirit if they try to kill him, and then I play him again, put a spell into the soul of actually put the Magical Goodbye into the soul of a Shadow Shape monster I control. So really good hand dandy combo right there. Pretty solid card, 3 copies. 3 cards of Solomon Shield. Yeah, I still play Solomon Shield in this deck. There are reasons. I kind of want to use it for the Iron matchup. I did recently face Iron and it was horrible. Like, I couldn't really do much, and I kind of needed a Solomon Shield against Iron because Ozzy. So, yeah. Just notify attack if it's not like attack, basically. So, yeah. And it could be really good against other matchups. 4 copies of Malicious Selector, pay a gauge, use 1 to fall into it's a counter ability. Destroy size 1 or less, or Shadow Shape monster gets +2/+3 in counter attack, and then put it into the soul of a Shadow Shape monster. So pretty solid card, really good counter removal, and really good Draco Energy clone. So yeah. 4 copies of Trick or Trick. 2 really good abilities. You're mostly going to use the first ability, which is put a spell from your drop into the soul of your monster, and then put this card into the soul. Because you have Impact Joe to handle monsters, and you have Damien to handle the spells and items for his own effects. So you don't really need the second effect of Trick Trick, but it's really nice to have for the soul game. For the Shade, basically the kosher clone. You just have to have a Shadow Shade monster on the field. So yeah, get engaged, draw a card, and put it into the soul. Pretty solid. For a nice one, just like Jalen said, his Pillarless, staple for any Magic World deck, pay draw 2 cards, that's all. And finally, we have the weapon that I personally chose. This is Burning Fist. 3/1 can attack even if I have a monster in the center. Quick call to pay life. So pretty solid card. Can swing at things. Can swing my opponent for 1 for extra stuff. So yeah. And that's the deck profile for you guys. If you guys enjoy, like, comment, and subscribe for more TBI Buddyfight videos. And this is Devlon of TBI going out. Later, guys.